Hello and welcome to Q Sports, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. I am Mamadou Kajiga. Tonight on the show we are looking at Gambia's women under-20 team that has took part in the qualifiers of the FIFA under-20 World Cup. They've got knocked out by Burkina Faso over the weekend following a 0-0 draw, but there are lots of talking points about the game, and what the most talked about issue concerning the game is a disallowed goal which was scored by the Gambia. FIFA also completes a successful reform of the Confederation of African Football. It appears for the last 6 months, the Confederation of African Football was run by the uppermost body, that is FIFA, the World Football Governing Body. We will also tell you more about that. African Football Project to see African football rise to the highest level, attract sponsors and make sure that it's commercially viable. That is also something that we will look at on tonight's Q Sports. This and many more. Welcome and thank you if you're just joining us. This is Q Sports and I am Mamadou Kachaga. The Gambia women's under-20 team crashed out of the FIFA under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers at the preliminary stage. They faced Burkina Faso in the return leg at the Independence Stadium on Saturday, and disallowed goal brought a lot of controversy when you look at the goal. Well, obviously you would have the chance to see the goal, whether it was an offside or it was a goal that was scored clean, and as we describe it in football, onside. You can do the judgment for yourself. It was an interesting game. Not many chances were created, but the Gambia women's team looked poised. All that they needed was just to score one goal, because they lost the first leg to Burkina Faso by 3-2 in Ouagadougou just about 2 weeks ago. Now let's watch the goal. You can do the judgment for yourself. Is it offside, or was it a genuine goal that was scored by the Gambia women's under-20 team? Well, you've seen the goals yourselves, so you can send in your comments on our social media pages. You can continue the debate there. Now, let's hear from the Gambia coach Fode Bah, who said he had so many injuries in his team and also blamed the lack of luck for not progressing to the next round.
I'm very disappointed. I'm not happy at all. But I mean, it's football. Like I said earlier on in my previous interviews, this is just developmental. I mean, though we wanted to qualify to the next round, but this is what football is all about. I mean, you can't win all the time. You win some, you lose some. It was unfortunate that we went out there, we got 2 vital goals. We just needed a goal. I mean, we've worked on it and also tried to work on them not to score. I mean, which was very difficult. We got that, they didn't score, but we also didn't score. It's very difficult.
What did you think must have went wrong with your team? They had some half chances, not clear-cut chances, but maybe they could have adjusted a little bit to score.
If you see in the midfield, I mean, the players that were supposed to play there, I mean, most of them were injured, some were sick, so we had to bring centre-backs to bring them in the middle of the field. I mean, for us to keep possession was a little bit difficult. So, I mean, that was the problem, that we couldn't keep the ball like we wanted to.
You made a substitution, bringing Ola Buaro in the second half. Don't you think he could have started the game?
Ola, Mam, Hadiwali, they're all good strikers with Kumba. So we went out there. I mean, she started the game in Burkina. She played well. I mean, Hadiwali played well, and Mam wasn't the one who started. But during the course of our training, Mam was doing very well. And she's more experienced. That is why we decided to bring Mam Drame, Hadiwali, and Kumba up front with Catherine. Like I said, it's very difficult to take a game like this. I mean, you didn't win, we didn't proceed. We wanted to progress to the next round. We did not. It's developmental. What we need to do is just need the help of the federation for us to continue training with these girls, because they've started from the under 17, now they're the under 20, and for me, I mean, they've really improved since I've started working with them at their tender age. So if we continue, we will have probably a better senior national team. We need to continue, because you cannot just train for like 10 days, stop a year, start it again. I mean, we need continuity. We need to continue training, I mean, so that we can have better players, because it takes 2-3 years to develop, a team, to build a team. You cannot just come and start playing just during tournaments, 15 days, 20 days training, then you stop again. So it should be a process.
Aminata Sissoko is a trainer of the Burkina Faso team, and she spoke to the media after the game. Let's also hear from her. Aminata, félicitations, congratulations in English. Your team also, they did very well by winning at home in Burkina Faso 3-2, and today you maintain a 0-0 draw. Yeah. Now you qualify to the next stage. How does it feel?
I feel good, and I'm very happy for this match, and we will prepare for the next step. Yeah.
Next, you are playing against Nigeria. Can you beat Nigeria?
Oh, I am optimist.
You're optimistic.
I know Nigeria is a great team, but I am positive for the next step. Yeah.
What worked so right for you in today's game? What was the plan?
The same like in my country, and we come to maintain our supremacy or to have a nil with Gambia, and at the end we have a nil. Our objectives are full. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. We will now take a short break, and when we come back, we will look at the Confederation of African Football that was literally run by the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, in the last 6 months. They call it a successful completion of the mission in the last 6 months. Welcome back, and thank you if you're just joining us. This is Q Sports. Now to the Confederation of African Football, because they've been plagued by scandals of financial mismanagement. In the last 6 months, Fatma Samora was a special delegate that's been sent by the World Football Governing Body to oversee African football. So literally, it's like the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, were running this show as far as African football is concerned. They call it a successful mission. The 6 months mission agreed between CAF and FIFA to help accelerate the implementation of reform process in African governing body has been completed with the delivery of set of findings, recommendations and proposals. And some of these recommendations and proposals are to make African football commercially viable, to raise the standard of refereeing, and the most important thing is about infrastructure. And all of this was held at the closing of this summit of African football in the Moroccan capital, Rabat, where the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, had so many issues to talk about African football. He said there needs to be reforms, there need to be a lot of changes for African football to attract a lot of audience, especially global audience.
So I think we have to intervene in 3 main areas: refereeing, infrastructure, and competitions. And we have to seriously intervene in these areas, because whenever I travel throughout Africa, and I've been visiting in the last almost 4 years, 41 countries of Africa. There are still a few missing, and everyone is positive, and it's great what you do, Mr. President, and it's great what CAF does, and it's great what our government does, and this and that. But actually, you know, the referees, it's a bit of a problem. We don't trust them, we are not sure what's happening. The infrastructure is not what it should be. And the competitions don't give us what they should give us. So we have to look at each one of these topics individually. And if we start with the referees, whether it's true or not that there is a problem with refereeing in Africa, and by the way, it's not only in Africa, but we are here in Africa to speak about Africa. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't really matter. Sadly, we have seen with some evidence that there are situations which affect refereeing in Africa, which bring corruption into the spotlight, corruption of referees. And when it comes to international referees in particular, they have a badge that they wear on their heart. And on that badge the referees wear, it's written FIFA. They are FIFA referees. And if there is a person who has such an important task as a referee, who is seen to represent FIFA on the pitch, and who has to be the judge and the guarantor for the match to be played in a fair way, and if there are doubts about this person, then we have lost from the beginning. We have some investors or potential investors here today. Who is going to invest in a movement that is suspected of not having fair games? And the guarantor for fair play in this respect is very easy, and you will hear more details about that in the future. We want to do something which is unique in the world. Because another mistake that Africa and African football is doing, dear friends, is that we try to copy what is done, maybe in Europe, and just to paste it in Africa. Cannot work, because the situation is different, because the economy is different. We have to develop African solutions. And we have to develop modern and innovative solutions. So what we will do with the refereeing is we will simply take out the best 20 referees of Africa. We will professionalize them. This means we, FIFA, and you are all FIFA, I want to repeat that, we will give them a professional contract. They will be FIFA referees, really FIFA referees, fully employed by FIFA. And they will be able to concentrate on their task, which is refereeing. Today, in the top European leagues, referees are professionals, de facto at least. They earn their life through refereeing. In Africa, it's not possible. So obviously, even the top referees are subject to interferences. And even if they are the most honest persons in the world, it is sufficient that people don't believe in them to create a doubt and to undermine the whole African football. So the referees have to be beyond and above any doubt. And to do that, we need to protect them.
The Confederation of African Football have been on the headlines, especially in 2019. The president, Ahmad Ahmad from Madagascar, has been accused of engaging in some financial malpractices. Some, in fact, have accused him of being corrupt. Well, according to this communique from the Confederation of African Football, the allegations include taking bribes, but Ahmad Ahmad has since denied those allegations. But there is one person in African football who has been monitoring, who has been in the thick of things when it comes to the Confederation of African Football. Mamadou Gaye is an African football expert. He says there are so many rungs in the Confederation of African Football executives, and he highlighted some of this. And the consequences were dire when he went to attend a CAF conference in Egypt, Cairo. He was kicked out of the conference.
We were in Morocco when they put in place the audit committee that controlled the entire financial system of CAF. And to the shock and surprise of everybody, the chairman of that audit committee is a Moroccan, knowing that already Morocco controlled the entire financial system of CAF. The third vice president in charge of finance is Fouzi Lekja, the president of the Moroccan FA. The president of the finance committee is the same guy, Fouzi Lekja, president of the finance committee. And in that finance committee, you have 5 members. Out of the 5 members, you have 2 Moroccan. Meanwhile, we have 54 countries in Africa. Now, they appointed a deputy general secretary of CAF in charge of finance and administration. It's a Moroccan, former accountant of the Moroccan FA. Now, the audit, the guy who's supposed to supervise and control all those guys is a Moroccan. I say to the guy, even in Ayatou era, it wasn't like that. What is it? What is it now? For one country to control the entire financial system, they say, hey, Mamadou, you're starting again. I said, no, don't think that you put me inside to keep me quiet. I have my conscience. If things are not going right, I will raise it within. Because I started, even many presidents were there, they were shocked talking on the side. I said, this is your new CAF. You appointed this man, and they appointed this Moroccan right in front of you. No one objected. Now all of you are running to me and telling me, Mamadou, this is what is happening. I say, I am here. I have seen what is happening. I will raise it with them, with the president, with his entourage. The minute I started raising those questions, they start sidelining me. And there were so many other issues also I took to them. Like, what you don't know is Morocco signed an MOU, an agreement with 32 African Football Federation partnership. And that partnership involved anything between $1 million to $5 million. All those 32 presidents goes to Morocco and cash in and go out. And just to come in quickly, yesterday when we were coming, an incident at the airport, the president of the Football Federation of the Central African Republic was caught by Egyptian custom with his suit, his hand case full of dollars. In front of other president of FA, I am not going to mention.
Yeah.
They say when they put the briefcase into the scanner, too many papers. Hey, you open this one. When they opened, the dollars were flashing. They quickly took him to a room there.
Yeah, a security room.
The security room. And the CAF officials that were there came in and is one of the executive committee member of CAF. He was also pushed in by the very Ahmad. He is in the inner circle of President Ahmad. They push him in, then we don't know what happened, if he did part away with some of the money, and finally he came back. And funny enough, inside the plane, he came to sit right behind me. When we were leaving,
and he's still carrying the briefcase.
He still have the briefcase. I don't know how much money. Now he came to sit next to the president of Mali FA, trying now to justify. No, these people owe me $90,000. They tried to transfer it 3 times. It bounced back. It came back. Then I told them, give me that money now in cash. Now these people arrested me. I have all the papers of the money to show them. I just didn't want to get involved. I say it's taking people like fools. Nowhere in the world you will carry such a big amount of cash. And you won't get any kind of documentation anywhere to cover that kind of things. Then it was in the play. Now, most of the presidents that witnessed the event were saying, you can see, this is clearly the bribe money.
Yeah.
Clearly the bribe money.
With that, we say thank you very much for watching this edition of Q Sports. Keep on sporting, and until we come your way, bye for now.